One of the things that we're talking about here at NAB this year is our new TV Everywhere Authentication solutions. TV Everywhere has different meanings for different people, but the way that we use it, and largely use it in North America, is for a federated identity management system, essentially. Publishers, content donors who are trying to get their content out to audiences in different places need to make sure that that content reaches only those people who are authorized to see it in a secure way that's monetizable. So as a consumer, when I go to watch, say, a show from AMC networks, I need to authenticate against my cable provider or my satellite provider to say that, yes, I am an authorized user of this system, and yes, in fact, I paid for access to this content. Then the Brightcove player will say, all right, let's go ahead and play it back so you can see it. And that prevents unauthorized viewing. It maintains the revenue stream for AMC networks and of course for all of their MVPD partners. The big theme for Brightcove is being able to deliver that content everywhere, whether it's premium cable programmer content or newspaper and print content. The most important thing that publishers are trying to do is get their content to their audience everywhere those audiences are. So 7 years ago, the question was, how do I get video on the internet at all? That problem has been solved, but in some ways is now worse, because on the internet means on my desktop, on my laptop, on my tablet, on my phone, on my connected TV, on my connected device plugged into my TV, and that all implies different video formats and different mechanisms, different bandwidths and different sizes. These are all things that Brightcove can help handle. It implies different levels of security, so you want to make sure that, yes, I'm reaching those people, but they're not doing things with it that they shouldn't be, and that they're actually authorized to see it. And it implies different levels of monetization, because just because I can get the content there, if I can't make money for it, if I can't charge for it, if I can't authenticate it against it, then it doesn't make any sense in delivering it at all. I think the future is interesting in a lot of ways. I was having a conversation earlier where we're seeing a lot less kind of just technologies that are cool for the sake of being cool, but technologies that actually help drive business. So understanding what audiences are doing, what consumers are doing, how consumers are behaving, and the fact that this new multi-screen world is real and people are looking at large screens and small screens at the same time. The tablet, in fact, in a lot of ways is becoming the first screen. It's becoming the way that people are driving their viewing habits. So decide what I want to watch on the tablet while I'm watching it on the TV, and then have a bunch of other interactive content that I can use on the tablet while I'm doing that. And so what Brightcove is doing, or one of the things that Brightcove is doing, is trying to abstract the complexity of that fragmentation of all the different devices that people are using, create an abstraction layer. So no matter what new device, what new size, what new operating system, what new codec format, we can get the content into the right size and format, et cetera, and deliver to those places, so publishers will always be able to reach their audiences wherever they are. People talk about HTML5 delivery, which is how you get video and content to devices on the mobile web. And it's not as straightforward as just HTML5, because you've got 4 different flavors of Android and 9 different flavors of Chrome and 8 different flavors of iOS and different flavors of Safari. And to build a player stack and mechanism with all of the accoutrements that you need for delivering advertising, for doing a subscription service, for doing analytics and audience measurement, for doing security on all of those, it's a difficult problem. And for Brightcove, we almost like when we hear customers or prospective customers saying that they're trying to do it themselves, because very, very quickly they discover that it's somewhere between difficult and impossible, and they look to us and say, oh, now I understand what you mean by abstracting the layer, abstracting the complexity away from all that incredible fragmentation across devices. There's a few different ways that I look at the device landscape. There's obviously desktop, where in terms of format, we usually use Flash. That's still the dominant mechanism there. Mobile, people talk about mobile as one big thing, but it's not, it's several. We generally bucket it into 2 different capabilities. Mobile web, which is you're using your Safari or Chrome browser, and the format there is typically HTML5, and that's very different from mobile apps, which is an application built, purpose-built for a property or a specific kind of experience that a publisher is trying to work with. And that's a completely different experience from delivering a video standpoint. And Brightcove's solution there is with our native SDK. So we have a very deep player stack with iOS and with Android, so you can build that app, wrap the native player with our SDK, so all the business logic that you're used to on the desktop and on mobile web can apply to your mobile apps as well. And then there's another component which is over the top, generally called over the top. So smart TVs from folks like Samsung and LG and Philips, or connected devices like Roku box or even an Xbox, and that's yet another method of delivery. And those systems are all a little bit different. They largely rely on some form of web standards, a little bit of JavaScript, a little bit of CSS, a little bit of HTML5, and so again, we've got systems in place to allow taking the same set of content that you're delivering to the other platforms and get to those over-the-top devices.